Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are taking a look at this. It's the new Hasbro Fortnite Victory Royale series, and we are looking at the character Lynx. Okay, so this is my second Fortnite review from Hasbro. Previously, I reviewed Midas Rex, and I love that figure. That was an amazing figure. I have high hopes for this one, so I'm really excited to check it out. So if you haven't seen the Midas Rex video, make sure you check that out before or after this video. I don't think I'll be disappointed. This toy line is really surprised me so far with the one figure I've reviewed. I was a big fan of Hasbro's Overwatch figures, and I'm really hoping that this continues that tradition of giving us really detailed video game characters with lots of accessories and lots of articulation. So let's get this started. Okay, so first off, we have the box. I said this before in the Midas Rex video. There's parts of the package design I like, and there's parts that I hate. I love the illustration. It's very eye-catching. I think this is a great render of the character. I like the shape of the box. It's not like a perfect rectangle. I like how it's kind of like sliced off at one corner, and then you see the accessories. What I don't like about the box is that it's kind of like some of the Transformer Kingdom boxes. They just give you this tiny, tiny window. And these figures, at least the Midas Rex one, it's a beautiful figure, and it's such a crime that they're hiding it behind all this cardboard. Jazzwares did an amazing job packaging their figures. They gave us that beautiful large window, and you had all the accessories surrounding it. Piss poor job on the package design here in terms of like showcasing the figure. All you're getting is this tiny window. You have a 6-inch figure. Really show it off if you want to sell me on it. So whoever's at Hasbro who does the package design, they could have done better. At the very least, extend the window from here to the bottom and really showcase the action figure, because right now you don't see anything. It's hidden underneath this window, and in many cases you could barely see it because the light casting on it casts a shadow. This poorly thought out. But with that being said, if this figure is anything like the Midas Rex one, that could easily be forgiven, because that Midas Rex figure was amazing. So I have high hopes for Lynx. And let's take her out. And I've mentioned this before, so with these figures, my advice is open them from the bottom of the box, because for whatever reason, they felt the need to store the accessories in individual pieces of tissue paper, and one of them's hidden at the bottom. So open the box from the bottom, make sure you take out the one accessory, and then once that's cleared, there's the one insert. Then you can remove the tray. And then once you have the tray removed, you'll find the other accessories. So I don't understand why they couldn't package this accessory on this shelf with the second accessory. Don't know why. And then you'll find a third accessory underneath here. So kudos to Hasbro for being environmentally conscious and giving us paper tissues as opposed to plastic baggies. But at the same time, use your common sense. Put all the accessories in one shelf. It's weird that they're separating them into different shelves, and then the ones hidden underneath. I don't get that. So we have the gun here, really well done. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is probably like a step higher than the Marvel Legends weapons, just because there's some paint application on it and it's a little bit nice. The quality is comparable, but I think this is pretty decent. The scythe blade here, or sickle, really, really cool. Nicely sculpted, nice definition to it. The back bling, the backpack, it's alright. It's silly, it's goofy. Well sculpted. And then let's take a look at the figure, right? So this is what we're here for, the actual action figure. So it's like I said, it bothers me that they hide this figure underneath all that cardboard. They should really do a better job of showcasing it. Alright, if I haven't said this already, I purchased this figure on Amazon for like, I believe, $22.99 in the US. I haven't seen this in any stores, so I don't know which stores will be carrying these action figures. So for right now, at least, you know, for me, I just like had to resort to Amazon, and it's actually through Amazon. It wasn't like a third-party seller. So for $22.99, you're looking at a figure that's, you know, the price is comparable to like a Marvel Legends nowadays because the price on those have increased a little bit. And so we have Lynx here. Alright, so my first impressions of this figure, it's nice. It doesn't wow me like the Midas Rex figure did, to be honest. The Midas Rex figure was amazing. I'll pull that out in a little bit so we can compare the two figures. This one's pretty decent. My first thought was when I handled it, it feels like, it reminds me of like the Marvel Legends Black Widow figure. You know, which one? More specifically, maybe one of the more recent Black Widow figures. Just because, you know, it's a slightly shorter figure. The frame's a little bit more slender. But does it do a good job of representing the video game character? I believe so. There's some nice details on there. I'm really impressed on... I'm not sure if the camera's going to catch this. So on the sleeves of the figure, there's this really cool like triangle texture pattern. But it's crazy because it's a fade. It starts off darker, but then it fades as it rises upwards. And that's pretty cool. And I believe that's a paint application. It's not actually sculpted on. So that's a great effect right there. You see how the triangle starts off darker, but then it fades as it goes up? That's pretty neat. There's a nice micro texture on the front. No, I take it back. Maybe that's paint. There's a very fine like micro texture on the body armor. It's almost so subtle that I don't know. Maybe it didn't even need to be there, but it's there. Yes, right now this is a decent figure. It doesn't wow me like the Midas Rex one did, but you know, we're looking at a character that's very streamlined to begin with. You know, she's not her character design isn't overkill. Like the Midas Rex one, that's a very overkill design, but it's amazing. This is all right. So one of the reasons why I like this figure a lot too is that the Lynx character, it just reminds me so much of something like Catwoman. That, you know, if you wanted to, I'm sure you could like find a way to do a head swap and make some sort of weird custom, like either like Black Cat or Catwoman kind of figure. But in terms of Lynx, I think it does a great job representing the video game character. It's very true to the character model. But I mean, it's decent. I'll give it that. It's decent. The sculpting's nice. The paint application's nice and clean. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm disappointed in it, but the Midas Rex one, if you've handled that figure, that thing's like on a different level. Not only in terms of the Fortnite figures, but just in terms of action figures altogether. This is a solid outing though for a Lynx figure. You know, for their first time out with the Fortnite line. Decent figure. You know, it's not any more or less than what Lynx is. In terms of the articulation, her head rotates. She can look down. She can look up. She has a cut below the breast line, so she can swivel up there. She can arch her back. Pretty decent. She can move forward a little, not too much. She has a waist swivel. She can kind of move to the side a little also, or a lot actually. No, she can't crunch forward, unfortunately. She can't arch back too much because her tail gets in the way. And speaking of her tail, I believe it's on a ball joint, so it could rotate. You can like wind her up So that's cool. Her arms, they can rotate, they can go out. Cut at the bicep for bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. Her wrists are articulated. She could kick forward pretty high, which is nice. She could kick out. I think she could do the splits. Yeah, she could get pretty far in terms of doing the splits. Does she have a thigh cut? She does not have a thigh cut, but she does have a mid thigh cut above the knee. So she could swivel there. Double jointed knees with hidden pins. And her ankles are articulated also. So the articulation is very fair. It's what you come to expect from Hasbro with their, 6-inch lines of action figures. The back bling plugs into there's a socket, peg, plug it in. It's going to be a tight fit. Right, mine doesn't, it's a tight fit. I don't want to force the peg in right now. Her weapons. So yeah, so it looks like either hand can hold her gun. Yeah, this, I don't know, for me, this doesn't want to plug in. The socket's still too tight. But I can take it off for now. And her little scythe or sickle or whatever you want to call it. Or her, I forgot what these are called in the game. I can't remember. So yeah, great first outing. But it's a very fair figure. It doesn't wow me. I mean, it's decent. This figure is decent. I think at $22, it feels like a little bit. It feels like $3 too much. If I paid $19 for this, I would have been happy with it. But like I said, I think that Midas Rex figure really set my expectations really high. It set the bar very high. And let's take a look at that. So, here's a comparison. Here's Midas Rex. A much larger figure, but I mean, he's a bigger character in the game as it is compared to Lynx. This figure is amazing for $22. It's God, words can't describe how excited I was when I was checking out this figure for the first time. The sculpting is beautiful, the paint job's awesome. This is a very premium figure. This is all right. It just feels like if you've handled the Black Widow in the Marvel Legends line, this feels very much akin to that. It's not breaking any new ground. But to be fair, it does what it does. This is supposed to be Lynx, and I think they've recreated the character in toy form really well. But in terms of a toy and action figure, what you see is what you get. This isn't going to be any more or less than what it's supposed to be. Man, but this thing here, this blows me away. I think this is amazing. And since we're on the subject of Hasbro and video game toys, let me grab some of the. So here's one of the Overwatch figures. What's her name? Zarya, I think her name is. She's the Russian tank character from the game from Overwatch. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. It's been a while. This was one of my favorite figures in the Overwatch line. I always tell people I believe that part of me thinks that Cara Dune was her design was partially based off of this character, or at least I think so. Yeah, so I think these new Fortnite figures do a great job of continuing the tradition and the standard set by these Overwatch figures. There's something about these figures that feel slightly different than the Marvel Legends figures, but that's okay. They kind of feel like they're their own thing. But I believe the quality is on par, if not a little bit higher in some regards to the Marvel Legends figures. The Overwatch figures, they were slightly smaller than the Marvel Legends, but in by no means did I think they were any less quality. They provided the same amount of articulation. They had some great accessories, some really unique sculpts. And I think the Fortnite figures really continue that tradition. So if you've handled the Overwatch figures, I think that you'll feel at home with Hasbro's first outing with the Fortnite stuff. You know, the Fortnite stuff is very much in line with the Overwatch figures, and those were such quality figures to begin with also. So yeah, if you're a fan of the Overwatch figures by Hasbro, you know, I think without a doubt you'll love the new Fortnite stuff. And speaking of Fortnite, it'd only be fair to bring out some of the previous Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So these are from the Jazzwares Legendary lines. We have Jonesy, and then we have Raven. These were great figures. They came with lots of accessories. I've always felt that the sculpting on these, not that the sculpting was bad, but they bored a little bit more on the cartoon side. But you know, that's more so, you know, like the video game. If you play the video game, it's not like a realistic portrayal of, you know, real figures or characters. You know, they have a little bit more of a cartoony appearance to them. So you know, for me, it's a little bit. I could forgive the fact that their faces are a little bit more cartoony and a little bit softer in their sculpting. But by no means does that take away from the fact that these, you know, were quality action figures. These figures were really well done. They're very solidly built. You know, there's lots of articulation, lots of accessories, and I think, you know, they're awesome. I'm not sure if Jazzware still has the rights to the Fortnite figures, but you know, if they've lost the rights and it's time for them to move on, I think what they did give us, you know, during the few years that they've had Fortnite, you know, they gave us some amazing action figures. And I know Fortnite right now, at least I've seen at Target, they're handling, I think, League of Legends. And I'm really curious about those figures. I want to pick up a few of those and check those out. But I think, you know, moving forward, I think Hasbro's going to, I think the Fortnite line's in good hands with Hasbro. I can't stop fiddling around with this Midas Rex figure. I think it's awesome. You know, I think that they display well with the Jazzware stuff. There might be some height discrepancy and scale discrepancy, but otherwise, I think, you know, there's no reason why you can't display them side by side on the same shelf, even though there's some, aesthetically, they're a little bit different. So yeah, let's wrap this video up. Going back to Lynx. So my final thoughts on Lynx. If I had to rate this figure numerically, I'm not sure if I have already. To be fair, 7. Even 7. It's not a high 7. It's not a low 7. Just an even 7. You know, it does what it does. It's a great representation of this character. It's not any more or less than what Lynx is supposed to be. The articulation's there. The sculpting's well done. The paint application's nice. You know, you get appropriate accessories for the character. The price point's it's a little steep in my opinion. I'm not too keen on paying, you know, the $22 on these 6-inch action figures. But you know, that's kind of like the standard right now. You know, the Marvel Legend figures, they're coming in at $22. I believe Star Wars Black Series figures, I think there's a price increase on those also. So yeah, I mean, you can't really argue with the price right now. You know, if $22 is the name of the game, that's what you're gonna have to pay for it. But it's up to you. You know, if you're a big fan of Fortnite, you know, you're probably gonna want to add this to your collection. If you're a fan of this Hasbro action figures in general, you know, I think it's worth buying. Especially if you want to branch off more into the video game stuff. You know, if you right now you're just collecting superheroes and Star Wars and G.I. Joes, you know, and you're kind of tired and burned out on that, there's no reason why you shouldn't give this, you know, toy line a chance, even if you're not into the video game. I think these are really well done, really well crafted. A lot of care and thought went into these, and if these figures are any indication of the future of the Fortnite figures, I think, you know, there's more great things to come from Hasbro. So wrapping this video up, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, once again, my name is Lou. Be safe, take care of yourself, and most importantly, be happy. All right, I'll talk to you later.